Trolls are back. That is Finntroll from Finland. Now, previously, the band used to release an album every 3 years, basically. But now, after the latest one, some 7 years have passed. People have been wondering what's going on in the troll camp. What's going on in the world? I mean, if you cannot trust some Finnish trolls, who can you really trust to deliver your folkish or blackened folk metal real deal? Well, this time I'm happy to say that they're back with an album called Vredesvävd. Pardon my kind of a French way of saying Swedish. Despite all those rumors and whatever, not everybody in Finland speaks Swedish, and I'm one of those douchebags. Yes, I just called myself a douchebag for not being able to speak the other official language of the country. Anyhow, here it is. Some roughly 38 minutes or so track list with an instrumental outro, instrumental intro, and then some folkiness with troll music within. Now, I guess I'm not the only one who was positively surprised by the album in question, because, after all, when you have such a long pause, call it creative pause, hiatus, or whatever, usually people start to get these ideas something is not right, and usually for a good reason. That is, so many times bands that have a long break kind of have also the problem of coming back in a proper way. That is, delivering some good music in the ways that it has previously been. Now here, while I'm prosing you this booklet, as you can see, there are lyrics included, but as it so happens, language in question, Swedish. So for those who are into the band and yet unable to speak Swedish, or more so, read that, here you are in need of a proper translation machine. But obviously you will find links sooner or later to these lyrics, and you can start translating with Google Translate or whatever you preferred way of translating is. And here you have obviously the recording information, as well as guest musicians and all that information. So you can just do your Googling and fandom deeper into the band by checking out all these cool names, as well as checking out those lyrics. Now that we have taken a look at the CD, it's time to take a quick look at the discography before talking about the music on the album. As you can see, quite a few albums already during some 23 years, and all of these albums have 2 or 3 years is pause between the albums, and now some 7 years. Already getting some numbers here, and people seem to be kind of a crushing, well, one person technically, but still. Anyway, we don't care about those numbers. I know that some colleagues of mine actually praised this album, and I can clearly understand why. Now, this 38 minutes of an album, some say it's like going back to the early stages of the band. Some probably don't have a clue what I'm talking about, and to be honest, I'm not really a Finntroll fan as such. I mean, I got to know the band when it was still on the demo phase, but soon after I kinda, went to different direction, and can't say I forgot the band, but I never saw myself as a kind of a folk metal band fan, and that has applied to so many other bands. But then again, I always try to keep my ears and eyes open for bands that make good music, no matter what the genre is. And when I was listening to this album on digital files a few weeks ago, actually at the gym, I already felt like, man, these guys are up to something. Like, maybe I have been skipping some of those albums way too hastily back in the days. I need to correct my mistakes, because, first of all, this album sounds with a really, really strong instrumental intro, which then again is kind of a homage to music and music made in or for movies and more so even games, because as you probably know, Henry Sorvali, being the maestro of the band while not exactly doing the live shows, creates game music, and he's a big fan of orchestrated music, and as such he has put a lot of skill and effort into creating this wonderful outro. It's really beautiful. Even if you don't care about metal music at all, it's worth a listen. But then starts the actual metal offering, and what it is indeed kind of a black and folk, like it's called over here. I mean, by black and folk it means there's certain kind of or certain amount of black metal elements included. One cannot deny that. I mean, the kind of a raspy blackened vocals, production to some level is kind of a black metalish, and in overall some of the riffs and ways that this music is done is kind of a black metalish. But even more so, it's these kind of a folk ideas put into metal music. This then again combined with this kind of a troll theme the band has had since the very beginning. And the outcome is very, very unique. I mean, I kind of doubt there can never be another band sounding like Finntroll, and that is a compliment, my friends. That is to say, I think what these guys are doing is phenomenal in so many ways. Even if you're not into folk metal, you really can't deny that these guys have a lot of skill. They have the talent to create their own vision and then translate it into a music that speaks its own language. It's like one of those forgotten mythic beings like Yeti or Wendigo or whatever, but this one is a Finnish troll. Maybe one of its kind, maybe to be extinct when the band actually decides to call it quits someday in the future. But now they're nowhere near that. I mean, the music here is very, very solid, it's well written, it's catchy, and it definitely has those tunes and melodies which are kind of like, hey, let's do some medieval dancing. No, I'm not gonna dance. I suck at dancing and I hate dancing. Well, dislike. But that is not to say that I really can't, respect the album, because, I mean, from very, very small details to the bigger picture of the album, it is strong, nicely executed, and basically flawless in its own genre. Now, it's only my fault that I am not that much into the given band or style of music, but that should not be a reason for me to disrespect the band or the album in question, because like I said, it's very, very well done, nicely executed, well produced, and just a solid kind of proof that these guys know what they're doing. So make no mistake, doesn't matter if it was 7 years hiatus or pause between this and the last one, this is still a very, very solid release. And for fans of Finntroll, it shouldn't be a disappointment. That's how I feel about it anyway. Obviously, make up your mind by listening to the band. You will find links here, or then you can just go googling or use your favorite streaming service to listen to this beauty. And obviously, should you like the album, like I always say, go for the physical album. This is Rauta about Finntroll. Take care and check it out. Bye bye.